What Metallica did in 1983 was they delivered an album that went where others didn't go.
It was just so aggressive and so tough, and it's boys will be boys.
No American band ever sounded like that. And you had all these underground kids that all of a sudden when that record came out, it was like, this is our band. This is really our band.
We had a very, very pure vision back then. Just four guys who just loved to play metal.
We didn't think too much, we just did it.
We were just living in the moment.
We had the songs, we had the attitude, we had the fire. We were out to conquer the world.
Coming up, Metallica drinks to success.
Everyone was calling us Alcoholica.
We were proud of that. We're living the rock and roll dream, and we can drink more than you.
And later, they get filthy clean.
We would tell our tour manager, when we go off stage, we want the showers running and girls in there ready and willing to bathe us.
Next on When Metallica Ruled the World.
This is called No Remorse.
In 1983, Metallica definitely were heroes of the underground. Kill 'Em All came out, and they went out and toured, and people saw how great they were live.
We had about 35 dates with one of our favorite bands called Raven, and we went out and saw the United States for the first time.
I really can't remember much of the Kill 'Em All for One tour because we were pretty much inebriated 24 hours a day.
It was a bunch of 19-year-old kids who were basically given a carte blanche to just go out and rage and pillage.
Destroying dressing rooms, getting in fights, fighting each other.
We didn't know anything about touring at all in those days, but we know one thing: don't take a Winnebago out and expect to ever return it.
This poor Winnebago just died an ugly death.
The trailer didn't have a top when it ended.
It was probably the odor of all the alcohol that just killed everything. It was crazy.
We're out of beer, pal. Beer.
Everyone was calling us Alcoholica. We'd roll into town and, I'd hear people screaming, Alcoholica! The name just stuck.
If you don't start drinking, I'm gonna leave.
We were proud of that. We're living the rock and roll dream, and we can drink more than you.
For the most part, the booze just fueled those first few shows and then started fueling those first few tours.
We had to drink before we went on stage.
Getting warmed up.
I remember being fearful one night. Oh, I'm not drunk. What do you mean we're going on in 10 minutes? Oh, trying to drink as much as possible. It's just crazy.
I just want to say cheers to all you guys and thanks for coming down and getting nutty with us, man. Cheers.
I mean, it got to the point where someone gave me a live tape and I was like, oh my God, that's us. That doesn't even sound like us.
We were out to drink and destroy. We'd come out of clubs at 7 in the morning. People are off on their way to work. We're jumping on the hoods of their cars at stop signs. Go to work.
The kind of stuff that we were doing just probably shouldn't be talked about in family television.
Shooting guns off at hotels, in the middle of Hollywood.
It also involved a lot of other things, like partaking in the odd female.
Back then, bands like Metallica, Anthrax, Slayer, the girls were kind of few and far between. And maybe it's because of what we looked like.
I'm too sexy for my shirt.
God, they're ugly. That's a bunch of ugly guys.
We looked like we were 7-Eleven employees.
They can rock, though.
1986 was when Master of Puppets came out, and then they went out and did that Aussie tour. That was when they went from being a really amazing underground club band to being a band that could go out and play arenas.
It was unbelievable to be sitting there with Ozzy every night playing to 15,000 people.
I'm there, Coliseum.
The place was packed. Looking around, and they all had Metallica shirts on. Everybody was headbanging, and somebody tore off the seat cushion off their seat, and they threw it at the stage. And so everybody started doing it.
It looked like piranhas attacking a ham. You know what I mean?
I've been to probably a couple hundred concerts, and this is the only concert I was ever scared at.
Crazy tonight.
And When it was time for them to leave, to get off the stage, everybody kept chanting.
This is the Ozzy concert, right? Like, Ozzy's definitely coming on.
They were blowing Ozzy off the stage. I mean, they were just a monster band.
We were out to take over the heavy metal scene.
We were just having fun. You never actually got a chance to think that there was anything else that could be.
We were with Ozzy in the States till late May, and then Europe after that. Until next year. Yeah, we're pretty much on the road.
It was a night like most of the rest of them on that tour. Play a show, hang out, drink, and stumble onto the bus.
That night we were in Sweden. We were on our way to Denmark for a show.
Me and Cliff were the last two people up. I went to bed before he did. The next thing that happened was I just remember hearing these loud noises.
It wasn't an earthquake, it was the back wheels of the bus jumping.
The bus flipped and was rolling.
And I thought, oh my God, we're going off a cliff or something.
The bus, went over on its side, and I kicked out the back window, which is the emergency window. I don't know what it was, 15-degree weather outside. We're all in our underwear.
I just started freaking out. And I just knew instantly that something was horribly wrong. I could hear everyone else screaming and crying, but I didn't hear Cliff's voice.
But it was all kind of odd because we were standing there going like, where's Cliff?
And turn around, I could see Cliff's feet sticking out from underneath the bus.
There's no movement, there's no nothing. And that was just something that I'll never forget. The vision is just, it's burnt into my mind.
It took days, weeks to be able to just understand that had gone down.
It's one of those things you relive over and over. You think so much about, and you try and change it in your mind.
It was so surreal because death and mortality, that was not part of the gig, you know what I mean?
I felt like an orphan, It felt like I had lost, an older brother.
It was so sad that he was taken at such a young age.
Shortly after his funeral, we all decided Cliff would be the last one to say, let's give up. That would have pissed him off, immensely.
We had to keep going because it was the only thing we knew.
We talked about it, and we wanted to keep the spirit of Cliff Burton alive and well in Metallica. And to stop Metallica would to stop that spirit.
Coming up, Metallica fills the void.
This is the new right here, Mr. Jason New Kid on bass guitar.
They hazed the hell out of that guy.
It was far from easy.
And later, group therapy.
The higher we ascend, the more challenging it will be.
We were all off in our own little childish worlds, so we needed that help.
Next on When Metallica Ruled the World.
In the fall of '86, Cliff died. And as horrible of an experience of losing your best friend, there was no way the band wasn't going to go on.
We've always had, fighting attitude, because we know Cliff would want it that way.
We just jumped in and started auditioning, calling around, checking in with people like Brian Slagle.
And I said, well, I think I have the guy for you, Jason Newsted. Of course, his favorite band in the world is Metallica.
When I went in for my audition, I'm like, oh, holy crap. I know every song that they played and worshiped them and all that thing.
He was incredibly talented. In the end, we just realized that Jason was the right guy.